Where's it at?
Down in Silicon Valley near Fort Stinson.
Let's see. Oh, okay. 99 problems. We'll warp to Port Bruno and go do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Water Temple because Port Bruno disconnects me.
Okay. Let's see if I get disconnected.
Yeah, I'm going to Water. Well, I get disconnected at Port Bruno.
What if you warp to me? Will you get disconnected?
Yep, because it's at Port Bruno.
Well, I'm going to the Arkfall. If you warp to me at the Arkfall.
Well, I'm already at Water Temple.
Alright. Well, I'm 200 meters from one of the Arkfalls. I'll be there in a couple of seconds if you want to warp to me.
I'm changing my vehicle right now.
I love the challenge.
I'm detecting an incoming Arkfall.
Oh.
Tired of driving.
Okay, it works, but I'm going to have to switch loadouts because I'm going to die.
A shield popped!
Alright, there's more coming, so hold your ground.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they upscaled the difficulty.
Yeah, I noticed that. When it was in my video, I kept getting waylaid by Inquisitors. They just hit me one time and bam, I'm dead. After I had done it one time with no problem, next time I did it. Oh, this thing's over.
Yeah.
Off to the next one.
So the one I just showed up at.
Alright. No time to look at the map. Okay, now I'm blind. Alright, there's one. Get over the hump. Here we go. I'm using my VOT pulsar because I mean my VOT blast rifle because of the bio. It actually works pretty well in PvE.
Yeah.
Especially with these guys with no shields and just armor. At least that's what it looks like. I mean, the grid. Yeah, the Revenants, it looks like they don't have any shield, just armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Revenants have always reminded me of the mutant killers from X-Men Days of Future Past.
I never seen it. Never seen it.
Oh, no, you haven't seen it? That's one of my favorite.
I want it.
It's one of my favorite X-Men movies. It has to do with time travel, so I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I watched all three Back to the Future, so.
Yeah, so it's like going in they're like sending a message to the past to change the present, and because one of the mutants can send a message to herself in the past, and that bit I believe was in the comic books also, but it was like she got a message from herself from the future and nobody believed her because she was a teenager or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I read any comic books, and I sort of followed the X-Men.
Let's go, big guy.
Yeah.
I liked the X-Men, but it wasn't one of those series. It was like I was used to, you know, the 1970s Spider-Man cartoon where everything was the same at the end of the episode. The bad guy was in jail, and Spider-Man was back with his aunt.
Yeah.
And Peter Parker was back there, and his secret identity was safe. And I mean, they had a formula every episode. It worked. Spider-Man gets his butt kicked. He goes back to the laboratory and makes something, and then goes back and kicks their butt with science.
Yeah.
It's Electro. We got to do something to neutralize that electrical current. This guy's made out of sand. We're gonna turn him into mud.
Nice, we did it. Time to collect.
So, but the X-Men was, okay, it was a team of mutants. And then I'm reading it, I'm like, what do you mean they're not a team anymore? It's like, what do you mean Wolverine's losing his superpowers? Why is he bleeding? He doesn't bleed.
Exactly.
And Magneto rips the adamantium out of his bones, and he's just and he's losing his healing factor, and he's turning into just a regular guy who has bone claws. So he's not really a superhero anymore. He's just a weird guy. Retractable bone claws. So I was like, why? Why are they doing this to me? And it gets to that point where I just can't follow it because it's too upsetting. I was very excitable as a child and I couldn't stand for that. I mean, what are they doing to all my superheroes?
Alright.
And then there was this whole Origins thing that they were doing every and I'm like, well, we already know the origin. Spider-Man got bit by a spider who ate some radiation or something. This the Hulk got bombarded by gamma rays from the Gamma Nebula, and they turned him green because he was mad at the gamma rays. The gamma rays make him mad, and he turns green, and he gets big muscles. So I was like, that was simple. That's all I cared, you know. But then the X-Men were like, oh, it was a secret government experiment, experimental weapon, a super soldier so I thought he was manufactured by the government, and then it turns out that no, they just put the adamantium on his bones. He was already immortal. I'm like, what? When's this origin story gonna end? Why don't you guys tell us where he came from? What's the deal? Because we want to know. We like to know things. We don't like to keep learning that we didn't know. Because the other kids make fun of us because we don't know. Go and you start talking about something. Yeah, well, every time something new came out, all the dipshits that I knew, you know, the dickheads, they knew before I did, because they were like at the store buying every comic book that came out, and they thought they were big shit because they were doing that, and they were always up to date on the X-Men. And I was like, and here I am in 1994 still playing Atari. I'm like, you mean I gotta buy another comic book every time they come out with it? Why can't I just read one comic book and be done with it?
Alright.
I mean, well, now I can get the entire, I think they've turned like a lot of the series into like graphic novels.
Yeah.
And I got in several chapters the Ender's Game of comic books. They came out in a series of comic books, and then I want to pick up these green ones, though, so I need to make that adjustment again. So don't pick up the white ones. There. Blue. Green. So, is this thing stuck? Oh, wait, there's... Yeah, there's some fighting going on over here still. Oh yeah, the Inquisitors are gonna come out pretty soon. Probably right after we kill this black one. Because it's Inquisition time. The Inquisition, what a show. The Inquisition, here we go. Oh, what the hell hit me? Yeah, this bug bites back. Ah! I was trying to get a melee kill. Stop moving around! Nah! I don't know if I got the melee kill or not. I was trying to melee him and he kept moving towards me. So I kept like going past him and swinging. So yeah, I got in a few volumes all of the Ender's Game comic books, and I sat down one night and read them all. And I'm like, okay, this was interesting. Because I had already read the books. Like I read Ender's Game like 5 times already before I read the comic books, and I had seen the movie twice.
So was the movie any good?
I think the movie was good. I liked the movie. I had a couple of problems with the ending, but that's nothing they can't fix. I mean, they can go back and show Valentine heading into space, because it's at a point in the sci-fi history arc where they're traveling the stars but haven't quite figured out a way around the relativity. So it's, you know, time passes on Earth much faster than it does for them on the spaceships. So by the time they get where they're going, it takes them, if it takes them 2-3 years to get there, like 10 or 12, 20 years have passed on Earth. So his sister Valentine and his brother were going to be, you know, going to be grown up or old or dead by the time he got where he was going. But in the books, Valentine left with him. Peter stayed on Earth. Well, Peter ends up being the president of the world. Oh, I'm out of ammo. He ends up being the one that was ruthless enough to bring about world peace. And Valentine went into space with him. And there's a whole series of books, and I haven't even read them all yet, because he keeps writing them. Orson Scott Card. And so last time I checked, there were like 4 or 5 books I hadn't even heard of yet. I don't have a lot of time to read now, because you know what I should do? I'm gonna get those books on tape. And while I'm driving, that's how I read a lot of books that I have in my brain library. Like I read The Hobbit and then I got the books on tape for the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers, and then I read the Return of the King. And then they made a movie, and then another movie, and another movie, and then they went back and made The Hobbit. And see, you know how they always say that the movie's not like the book? Well, Peter Jackson's Hobbit movies are the ones that are most like the book. He tried his best to stay true to the books, although he did change a few things. Like Liv Tyler's character she was there in the book, but she's just like a princess. She didn't like ride around on a horse carrying a sword and stuff. She's just like, oh, he loves me not. Was something
like that chick in the Return of the King, like did that chick in Return of the King actually kill the Lich King?
No, that's Eowyn, and there's an interesting story behind that character as well. When Tolkien was writing this story, I'm dead. I got a self-revive. Can you get to me?
Okay.
No, wait, don't come over here. They're still launching bombs at me. There's a black lung. Oh, okay, he's turned the other way now. He gave up on me. Yeah, Eowyn, when Tolkien was writing the book, his friends, he had a little writing group, and C.S. Lewis, the guy that wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, was one of them. Oh, damn. They got me again. I can't see all the baddies that are around. They got you too, huh? I just used my self-revive. We gotta find a better spot to fight from because we're surrounded over here. Oh shit, they're everywhere. Okay, this looks promising. There's one Inquisitor over here. We can clear a spot. Yeah, so Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were, they were like colleagues, writers. They met together in a group, and there was like I forget the other names, but you would probably recognize some of them, or at least some of the works they wrote. But they kept calling The Lord of the Rings the New Hobbit because it was so similar the way he had it laid out. It was like he was writing The Hobbit again, but much grander detail, and the scope and scale of everything was. I'm gonna get you right now. They're gonna pounce on us.
Thank you.
You up? Hey sis, you up? God damn it! This really is a lot harder.
You're not done.
Let's go in this house. So, basically, he wrote the book from beginning to end, all 3 books, which was actually, each book was like 2 books. But he decided to release them 2 at a time. But if you read the books, each book has 2 separate, titles. When he was done writing it from beginning to end, he went back and started rewriting it from back to front, because it took him so long to write it the first time, and his daughter was growing up, and he realized that there wasn't really a heroine, there wasn't a female, hero in the book. So when he wrote it again from back to front, he either created the Arwen character or turned the princess into something else and made it where she, instead of he created that whole prophecy that the Lich King couldn't be killed by any man. You know, so at the end there, well, I'm not a man, I'm a woman, and I'm killing you. Oh no, you tricked me, it's a woman. So he came up with that whole thing when he rewrote the book. And he did that, from what I understand, it was for his daughter, because he thought his daughter would like it. So when Peter Jackson redid the story, he realized, well, there's not really a strong heroine until the end, into the last movie, and we can't put out 2 movies that don't have, you know, anything for, you know, for the ladies, for the little girls that want to see a female hero. So they altered. Is somebody getting you? Or no? That's a baddie standing over you that I gotta get rid of before I can.
Yeah, get him. You got 2 of them chasing you.
And there's an Inquisitor shooting at me too. All right, I almost got him.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
Nice.
So, some people look at it as he changed the story, and I'm like, well, so did Tolkien. And he did it for the same reasons, only Peter Jackson didn't do it for his own daughter. He did it for the general audience. But he did the same thing Tolkien did. He made some changes, some slight changes to the story to make a female heroine work in the Fellowship of the Rings. Yeah, originally it was one of those other elves that cast the spell that makes the water swallow up the baddies. It wasn't Arwen. So Peter Jackson's like, what if instead of running in, and I forget the other elf's name, but he was in the movie, but his part sort of became a minor part because Arwen basically took over the things that he did. It's just like, oh, Legolas knows this guy. Oh, that's neat.
Wow.
But well, it wasn't too bad. I understand why he did it, and I always think things like that are interesting because I'll watch a movie thinking, well, how are they going to change the story to make it work in a movie and update it? You know, I don't sit there complaining about it like some people do. Oh, they did this, they changed it, it's not as good as the book. I'm like, well, it's not supposed to be as good as the book. It's supposed to be a movie. You know, so I look. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. You know, when you're writing a book and you're writing a screenplay, you're not the same kind of person that writes a book. It takes a screenplay, right? Hey, look, I'm number 3. I just I tell people, you know, I like books and I like movies, and I'm looking for something different in each one. So I go into, you know, a movie expecting it to be different, and welcoming the changes, you know. Of course, every once in a while they do something so incredibly lame that I gotta complain about it, but when I do complain about something, you're gonna know it's for a good reason.
Yeah, there's gonna be relevance to it.
Right. Like, every once in a while I'll be watching a movie and I'll see a scene that's just unnecessary, or, I mean, what was the point of this? Why did they do that? I mean, the boobs were nice, but how does that carry on the plot? You know, what does that have to do with the story that I'm watching? Let me run it back and look at the boobs again.
Yeah. We're in a pack with it, please, again. You were funny.
All right, and yeah, I got all the mods.
Nice.
And this thing is over. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.